Guys, out of nowhere, June suddenly shaped up to be one of the best months of this entire year for sneaker releases. We got Yeezys, collab Jordans, and a ton more, and I'm gonna make sure you don't miss a single one. Because today we're going over the top 10 most hyped sneakers dropping in June. Coming in at number 10, we got the Jordan 1 High 85 Metallic Burgundy. Now, I don't know about you, but I really thought that these dropped earlier this year. Apparently they didn't, maybe they were delayed or something. I think the original drop was supposed to be sometime in February. However, now they're gonna be dropping June the 22nd. Now, even though this looks like a relatively simple colorway, it is an OG pair from the metallic burgundy or reds, and it is in the 85 cut, which obviously makes it a lot more true to the original. Now, you do have to pay for that 85 treatment. These are $200 instead of the regular 180. And honestly, if I had to make a guess, you could probably get them for under retail after the release. Moving on to something a little bit more crazy, at number 9, we have the Dior Greenwood Nike SB Dunk High. So yes, this one is super colorful, and I believe there's a couple other models as part of this Dior Greenwood collaboration, like I think there's a blazer. However, this specific pair of Nike SB Dunks is going to be dropping on June the 4th. Now, even though these are a dunk high, they definitely have a lot of clear design departures. Like for one, the ribbon that weaves in and out of the laces that is also super bright. It's got a completely raw edge sock liner, which I can't imagine is going to lend much to comfort, so hopefully they padded some part of it out. And you also have an exposed foam tongue. Overall, these are not really my personal favorites, but it's still a collaboration on a Nike SB, so it's got people pretty hyped. Coming in at number 8, we have the original Nike Zoom Vemero 5 in the electric green colorway. Now, I guess you could say that the racer blues are kind of like a pack to this one. However, they dropped a couple days before. This green pair is going to be dropping June the 7th. So right now, we are in definitely the Nike Zoom Vemero 5 era. There is so many different colorways and collaborations, and it's a really solid model. So if you did want to go back into the archives and get these original colorways, which are definitely a lot more iconic, it is a solid colorway, either one, the racer blue or the electric green. Coming in at number 7, something that's definitely different. It's the Artifact Nike Dunk Low. I don't even know if we can call this a Dunk Low. It's the Nike Dunk Genesis or something like that. So this is the Wild Berry colorway, and when you look at it, yeah, it does seem like it slightly has Nike Dunk paneling, but it definitely has a lot more of a futuristic take. So Artifact, if you didn't know, are in the NFT space when it comes to fashion. They're kind of like the biggest people in regards to that. Nike teamed up with them quite a while ago, like back when NFTs were on everybody's minds, and it's definitely taken a while for them to start rolling out physical products, but this is definitely one of the more anticipated ones. If you're after them as well, June the 13th is the release date. That should be the Nike Sneakers app release, and I think that's all it's going to have. If I had to guess, I would imagine these are going to be super limited. Coming in at number 6, we got the Kobe 4 Girl Dad or Bi-Coastal colorway. So these are going to be dropping on June the 7th as part of Nike's plan to completely relaunch the Kobe line as of August last year. And we've seen a ton of different colorways and also some restocks of some older ones or retros. So the Bi-Coastal name is what it's formerly going to be called, but the Girl Dad naming scheme comes in, which is basically this small little text on the reverse of the tongue, and that basically is a nod to Kobe's 4th daughter. It's a really clean looking pair of Kobe's. I don't think it would be my choice in terms of the colorway, the model also, but it's a really solid option, and obviously because it's a Kobe, it has got a lot of people hyped for it. Coming in at number 5 is one that I'm personally super excited for. It's the Nike Pegasus 41. So yes, this is going to be the latest updated version to the iconic Nike Pegasus line, and yes, the number 41 is for like how many years they've been making this shoe. Every single year there is a new iteration, which people always patiently wait for. So these are going to be releasing on June the 6th, and there's a bunch of different colorways. However, I feel like the first kind of launch colorway is going to be this Volt Green one, and then they'll slowly start dropping other colorways as the weeks go on. I probably will personally wait for a different colorway. The Volt one is just probably way too loud, but essentially the Pegasus line is supposed to be affordable, extremely comfortable, and a solid running shoe. So it works out to be a great day-to-day pair. I've been a huge fan of the previous versions. This one does have a new cushioning, which is React X, so I do have a lot of higher expectations because these do also cost more at $140. So if it turns out that they're not as good, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. Nevertheless, I think they look good, and hopefully they are as good as Nike makes them out to be. Coming in at number 4, we are entering the speculation zone with this one. It is the Salehe Bembury Crocs Juniper sneaker. So yes, these have a drop on May the 30th. However, that is exclusively through beasponge.com, which is Salehe Bembury's website. So it does seem pretty likely that after, maybe a week after that release, they will have another release through crocs.com and potentially other retailers as well. We have seen that in the past with different Crocs models, and I do expect these things to be extremely limited, as we have seen from Salehe Bembury and Crocs in the past. Like, just think back to the days when they first launched the Pollux clog. That thing, the first colorway was like $500-600 in terms of resale price. price. Now, along with these probably being incredibly limited, I do also think that there's a lot of people out to try these things. They're definitely a cool looking design, pretty innovative in the fact that it's now like a Crocs hybrid sneaker. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes out and let me know if you went for them on May the 30th through Be a Sponge and if you managed to get them. Right, before the top 3, I do have some honorable mentions I did want to mention. First one is the Jordan 6 white black, super self-explanatory. It's a white and black Jordan 6. It is split up into 2 different release dates, June the 1st for the EU and the UK, June the 8th for you guys out in the US. Another one would be the Crocs Naruto collaboration. These ones actually look super interesting. There's a bunch of added details, and as we know, with crazy Crocs collaborations, it always has people pretty hyped. They're going to be dropping 4 different pairs on June the 6th. Last one is the Ma Maniere Air Jordan 17. We don't have a specific release date for these things, but they were supposed to be dropping here in the springtime, so we can imagine that would land up in June. I'm just mentioning it in case to keep your eyes out if this is a sneaker that you're after, but yeah, we don't have an exact release date. But let's get into this top 3, and this is where things get pretty crazy. First one, taking the number 3rd spot, is the Trophy Room Jordan 1 Low Home colorway. So yes, this is the, I guess, second version or the home version of the Jordan 1 Low Trophy Room Away colorway. Now, these are pretty similar, however, they differ in materials, and also these now have a white Nike swoosh instead of the black one. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention it, but these are also going to be limited to 1,000 pairs. So yeah, hardly anybody's going to get them. They should be dropping June the 23rd, and I think they're going to be doing an EQL raffle for these. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, if you are after these, good luck. Coming in at number 2 is the Nina Chanel Abney Air Jordan 3. Now, these are a banger. They are super clean. I'm definitely hyped for them. They're going to be dropping on June the 20th. Definitely different as far as Jordan 3s go. Not only is a completely different, like, material palette, covered in canvas and suede, but you also have one of the most interesting details, which is the back tab. I think it looks really cool, and I'm actually glad that they did something pretty different with these. Oh yeah, you also get rope laces, which I think is a really nice touch. A completely leather sock liner, meaning these are definitely altogether as a package a lot more premium than your standard 3s, and I think it's a pretty solid colorway. These are going to be dropping on June the 20th. Not entirely sure how hard, easy they are going to be to get, but since it's a collaboration, I would imagine pretty damn limited. But coming in at number 1 is, of course, Yeezy. There is a ton of Yeezys dropping throughout the month of June. This looks like it's going to be the final drop from Adidas. They are basically offloading all the pairs that they had left in their warehouse. There's like 75, 80 pairs that is dropping. So we just had our first drop, which was May the 27th. That was pretty crazy. There was a ton of pairs. A lot of them have sold out, but we had a mixture of like slides, foam runners, 500, 700s, and I think the best is still yet to come. So the second drop and the first one of June is taking place on June the 3rd. This is another stacked drop. There's a ton of different pairs. I think a highlight for a lot of people is going to be the desert boots. You also got a ton of slides and even a pair of foam runners as well. Nevertheless, it's decently stacked. We're not going to go through every single pair. If you do want to see every single pair, click that video in the corner. I'll put it up there. I go through the entire calendar. The next drop is taking place on June the 4th, the very next day. This one's pretty simple, just 3 pairs. We've got a pair of foam runners, the bone slides, and the Yeezy 350 V2 Zebra, which I think a lot of people are still after. Next drop is June the 6th. This one is pretty crazy, definitely one that I'm trying to get in on. We got the blue tint 350s, the original pirate black V1s, which I think is pretty special, and then we also got the knit runner boots, which is wild. These things only dropped in the US when they originally released back in 2022. They were super limited, so it seems pretty crazy they're dropping them again. It is likely that they're also going to be a US exclusive again, so we'll have to wait and see. June 10th is the next drop, and this one's basically just a bunch of foam runners and slides, all different colorways. You got the glow greens, which I think we haven't seen those for a while. Yeah, it feels like every single drop has slides and foam runners, so yeah, you should have at least an opportunity to get a colorway. Next one is June the 11th, another pretty crazy one. We've got the sand foam runner, the turtle dove 350 V1, and the insulated boot. Now again, insulated boots dropped in the US originally as an exclusive, so it's likely that it's going to be the same thing this time. Turtle doves, I think they said that it was global, but it pretty much felt like it was a US exclusive because there was hardly any other pairs. And the sand foam runner is just the best foam runner colorway in my opinion. It's just super wearable and one of my favorite sneakers of all time. Final one, June 13th. This one's also going to be pretty highly anticipated because we got the Yeezy 700 Wave Runner, one of the most iconic Yeezys. We got the Desert Sand foam runners and the Yeezy 450 slide, which again I believe was also a US exclusive, correct me if I'm wrong. But there you have it, the most hyped sneakers dropping in June. Now if you want to check out what the best slides are, especially coming up to summertime, click that video right over there.